Food from the Hood was a program that started at Crenshaw High School in South Los Angeles back in 1992. A class gardening project done among students blossomed into a student-owned salad dressing company. The concept origined from biology teacher Tammy Bird and students around the time of the LA riots.
Block east of this scene, and he's driving eastbound. I'm going right over the top of him, so I'm going to lose him now, but it's the first.
And we started working with a group of kids, and we sat down and we said, look, are you happy with that, what happened in your community? They go, no, we want to do something for our community. Okay, what do you want to do? Well, we want to grow a garden. Well, what are you going to do with that garden? Well, we want to donate the food to people who need it.
Although Ms. Bird viewed gardening as a way to bring positivity to the community, students viewed this as an extra credit opportunity.
Whatever you learn out here within the country, you can take that and apply it to your everyday life. Everyday life. Whatever you want to do,
that seemed like fun. So you planted a seed, you watch it grow. And I said, wow, it's like almost like you have life in your hands. And it was something very calming and soothing, something different. And so we started working in the garden. We would clear up weeds. You know, it was like a little labor intensive. It was like going to the gym. I mean, we had some weeds that were really, really high. We harvested some produce, and what we wanted to do was send people to college. After they harvested those produce, they actually came out with about $2,000 in scholarship, and they're like, hey, wouldn't it be awesome if we could send people to college? After that, that was year one, was the garden. Year two, we created a company.
In order to create the company, Tammy Bird and the students reached out to Maynard Brown, a business teacher at Crenshaw High.
And they came to me asking about how to start a business. And so during those early phases, I advised them on how to go about starting a business, which ultimately became Food from the Hood.
We didn't want a refrigerated salad dressing. We wanted something that was going to have a longer shelf life. We wanted something that was going to be healthier because we're, as Janelle put it, we're in the African American community and hypertension is huge. And so we did all this research. We did prototypes. I remember one afternoon we brought in pizza. I brought in all these jars. We had bottles. We had sun-dried tomatoes and everything. My room smelled like a salad dressing company. And they just came up with all these bottles and all these ideas.
We have asparagus, carrots, peppers, broccoli with our new.
They were doing farmers markets and selling greens and vegetables that they were growing out of the garden at these farmers markets. And so the idea was how to get more mileage out of that concept. And after quite a bit of discussion, there was an agreement to start a salad dressing company, which makes sense if you're growing salads and greens.
The students created a salad dressing line called Straight Out of the Garden. The ingredients were the vegetables they grew. They used the profits earned to give students scholarship money based on the hours they worked.
My name is Jolly Jenny.
How are you doing, Jolly Jenny? I'm naturally talented.
It was the nation's first natural products company. It was owned by students. It was a nonprofit organization, so that means that all of the money that we used was for scholarships. So that's how the company started. Scholarships, and that was like the payoff. It was you come into the company as a student intern, you become a student owner. Once you become that student owner status, you're able to collect money for scholarship, which was a great win-win situation for both the students and the company.
The existence of Food from the Hood was a win-win situation for both the students and the community of Los Angeles as they gathered national and international attention.
I was so impressed. They were working on a business plan, so I helped them with their business plan. They were planning to go to Germany and represent themselves with other students in Germany on starting a business.
96, 97, I said, I want to take this product worldwide. In the year 2000, this is after I graduated from high school. I came back as a mentor, as a friend, and we took the product to Germany. So having students from the company and recent graduates from the program, assisting and presenting the dressing and the product into the company in Germany was a great feeling.
Food from the Hood would also meet Prince Charles and receive an invitation to the Oprah Winfrey Show.
I received this in 2001, and it says, Oprah's Angel Network, Monique Hunter, Food from the Hood, thank you for using your life and being a loving force in the world.
Mayor Reardon came by. Of course, we hosted Prince Charles in the garden because he is about entrepreneurship, and he was heavy into composting, organic gardening way before his time. So he believed that. So it was just kind of a fun ride going back and forth.
I remember that day being very hectic. We were all like being briefed about the protocols and how to greet a prince and what you can and cannot say and all this other stuff. And it was like, it was like a big deal, and rightfully so. He's, the prince, from, in England they revere their royal family. And yeah, I do remember a lot of, just a lot of things happening, just the preparation for him. And we were hosting him in the garden, in the back. I was chosen as one of the greeters. So it was myself, Carlos, and I believe Christy, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so I shook the prince's hand, At the time it was like, whatever, you're a teenager, you're not thinking it's that big of a deal. But when I tell people now that, yeah, I met the prince, I shook his hand, I greeted him, they're like, what?
Carlos and his classmates refused to let the riots wreck their lives. They talked about different ways to help rebuild their community.
The story of how Food from the Hood began was written in an English literature book called Open Court Reading. Fourth grade students throughout the nation read about the history of the company.
Even doing the open court reading presentations, that was actually one of the more heartwarming parts of what we did, because kids were learning about our company, and we were able to go into their classrooms and talk to a lot of fourth grade students and tell them the story behind how we started, what we've been able to accomplish, and letting them know that despite the circumstances that they're in, despite their community, despite their upbringing, if you put your mind together as a community of individuals, you can actually come up with really awesome results, to be quite honest.
When they first started, some 4 years ago, some of them, there were only 2 products, and it was creamy Italian and honey mustard.
In the early 2000s, the organization had a product line of 3 different flavors: creamy Italian, honey mustard, and ranch. Food from the Hood also moved from the campus of Crenshaw High, and students from other high schools participated in the business. Student interns learned about marketing, accounting, and personal development.
From that point, when they join, they are then mentored by another student manager, someone who has been in the program for a while, knows the workings of the business. From there, they enter into different trainings at the program, and they're introduced to the different departments. The customer wants, they're going to call the customer back. That means you're going to get on the phone and say what? What are you going to say? So there's marketing, there's accounting, there's development, there's production, there's manufacturing, there's communication. And depending on the student and what their talents and their skill levels are, they are then assigned. But everyone starts at the beginning in customer service. So they're taught how to answer the phones, how to greet people. Those are all standard things.
I remember coming into Food from the Hood and being the most shyest person that you would ever meet, to be quite honest. So throughout the 4 years at Food from the Hood, we worked on that. We worked, how can I become a better public speaker? And by the 4th year that I was in the program, I could literally talk to anybody about anything, and I knew how to sell myself, which was the whole point. We learned to sell ourselves. So one, we were selling the company, Food from the Hood, but at the end of the day, it was a give and take relationship. You're going to sell the product, which is going to make you money for school, but you're also going to learn how to be a public speaker.
I was also a member of Food from the Hood from 2004 to 2008. I helped with advertising the product at stores and local events, including the first Taste of Soul Festival. I learned about public speaking, networking, and conducting business meetings. Food from the Hood folded in 2009. However, the legacy lives on through the students who participated in the program.
My husband and I co-founded the Cambodian Music Festival, and so my work lies in music and art. Being part of this movement in the Cambodian diaspora around the world to help rebuild the music and the art scene since its decimation from the genocide 40 years ago. Yeah, I mean, being able to network and being able to do all the things I do now, I certainly can give a lot of credit to my early days in Food from the Hood, that it's really helped shape what I'm doing now.
I'm currently the creative director for Pocket Square Clothing, so the stuff you see behind me is actually a part of my brand. We're a men's accessories brand. We've been around for about 3.5 years. We're in over 90 different retailers. I was able to transfer all the knowledge I learned at Food from the Hood to my current job, whether it's public speaking, whether it was the day-to-day operations with customer care and getting your hands dirty, packaging things, being able to fulfill, which was kind of, when we first started, we were like, well, how do we fulfill? Like, who do we go through? How do we set up accounts? And I was actually able to do all of that stuff while I was at Food from the Hood, so it was a seamless transition.
Lunchtime right now, so we're really busy, so we just try to keep the ship afloat, and we do it with love and quality ingredients and great service. That's our philosophy. Much like what we used to learn at Food from the Hood, was to do a great.
Cesar Bravo applied what he learned from Food from the Hood to his family's business, Bravo's Burger, a restaurant in Inglewood, California.
My passion was always food. It was the garden. It was my family business. It helped me how to make good business decisions here in the restaurant as well. Now, instead of like ordering from a major food source, we outsource all our local fruits and vegetables from like the LA market. Saving on food costs. You bring that into the business world, and it's like, wow, that makes a difference. Knowing how to be profitable. I think that was a lot of the good business decisions that we were taught. A lot of business skills, and also the life lessons. Though that's what I think would contributed the most.
And we always said it was student owned and operated, not student managed when we first started. That was a big difference, because it was. And we wanted the students to understand that we were there learning with you guys, and yes, signing off, but you know what, this is truly your business. You owned it, you're doing it, you were here starting it. And we called the original students the OGs. There was lawn and some vegetables. There was no salad dressing. You had to think of that idea, you had to do the research, and then you had to do the steps to develop it with high school kids and people who had never done it before, with resources that were like this much, and then they started coming in the door. The kids actually did all the marketing. So the OGs were our original gardeners. That's what we called them.
Food from the Hood was created to provide jobs for the youth, also to show that young people can and do make a difference. It was also started to provide and show students that businesses can be socially responsible and environmentally friendly and profitable. But one of the other tenets of the mission statements taught children that they could give back to the community, and that this experience would prepare them for their future. And I'd like to add one other thing to the mission. The mission was to give students a voice. Oftentimes we don't listen to our young people because, they're young people, they're teenage, they're hormonal, they go through all kinds of changes and they're full of drama. But young people have a lot to say. They also have ideas. They are our future. And what we did was cultivate